Hello, my name is Andree Gillespie.
Hello, I'm Andree Gillespie.
Gillespies.
Hello, I'm Envy Gillespie.
That's right, we're all called Andree Gillespie.
Andree Gillespie.
I think there's another person at our company with the same name.
Hello, I'm Envy Gillespie.
Huh, what an amazing coincidence. Welcome to another video essay about Press Gang, a show which defined a generation. It featured an array of fresh new talent, including Julia Sawalha, Dexter Fletcher, Lee Ross, Kelda Holmes, Mmolki Chrystie, Lucy Benjamin, Gabrielle Anwar, Paul Reynolds, and new writer Steven Moffat. And it fused them with dependable hands in televisual entertainment. Producers Lewis Rudd and Sandra Hasty, directors Bob Spears and Lauren McGorry, editor Geoff Hogg, and many other actors and makers. We open with a telling snapshot in time. Lynda's desk, a wrestle of schoolwork, teenage girl stuff, and probably a few Junior Gazette supplies which followed her home. And a poster for Good Morning Vietnam, featuring Robin Williams as the uncompromising anti-authority voice of the news. There's that god-awful coat. She's nicked her mum's deep coffee mug. So straight to the phones make story, or rather not phone make story. Spike is already having second thoughts about what to say to Lynda. Yesterday's news takes place 2 weeks after the rest of my life. Second director Lauren McGorry helms a madcap quest comedy, which is trickily at odds exploring Spike's post-traumatic stress. Sam is in Scotland. That's where blondes from the design team go. Interruptions through the episode to troll Lynda are fun. Kenny enjoys Sam play. The Leo Mac guide tells me TV Times published a photo misattributing Tiddler as Lynda with the caption, "Rivals, but what else?" Spike's gumshoe character bit is a moth with his go-to of comedy beats portraying character. The bit is Spike dishonestly appearing as Spike of old, a conscious choice to give the appearance everything's okay. He knows his return won't go uncharted, so doubles down on making a scene. Funny Spike. Subjectively, I think Lynda gets a funnier line here.
I can't imagine any hospital regarding this as finished work.
And that might be a tell. There's also no public display of affection, a rollback to the coded signals between them, something we thought they'd got over in Something Terrible Part 1. It's another little comedy carrying character moment. Spike on office management is a good use of info dump because it sounds precisely like an info dump. His troubleshooting language sounds exactly like he's parroting Kenny. Character plot beat there, so soon divided that they can only talk by payphone.
You are not the easy route to me for every clown in the newsroom with a stupid gripe.
Settle down, Donal Cooper. This was broadcast at a time where women in workplace management was a big emerging thing in organisations, media, social norms, some social policy. It's reasonable she's laying down the line as Lynda Day, not as editor Spike's girlfriend. Spike throws down the gauntlet on writer versus editor, Dexter sitting cross-legged and especially jumping over the banister, even though it's only a foot injury now. But honestly, it pulls me out of the story. Would a reshoot have killed him? I don't know. I feel we should be seeing the aftermath of the record store explosion on Spike's body. Okay, so some disabilities are hidden is the point of this. But Spike, after Mary Bryant and Sounds, should be showing more of this, given how central it's intended to be in the narrative. Things to reappreciate: Lynda accounting for her credibility as a reporter by going back through her old records.
And one with Sarah where I did 5 more interviews than she did.
Communication is a Press Gang overarching theme, as much as lack of communication. That's quite acute here because of the intertwine with feelings in adolescence. At this time, emotional impulsivity is normal owing to neurodevelopmental changes. Rationality and logic are still developing. Lynda feels the need to make demands and hang up a conversation as if to better project her voice. Spike can't speak to his deeper feelings. When he does try, he withdraws and buries his words, or goes to his default, masking emotions in the sunglasses and jacket of comedy. Lynda reassigns herself to street reporting, so changing the work rota 3 times in 2 weeks. Julia Sawalha and Lee Ross demonstrate fantastic comic chops, the latter expressing Kenny's demasculation with quiet physical comedy.
If I say you're in charge, you're in charge.
Yes, boss.
So come on, Kenny, take over. Sit at my desk. Sarah?
In the Battle of Wills, when Lynda has a vision that proves her demands are right, she buckles down, sees it through no matter the opposition. The street reporting challenge steamrolls Spike's need to have a serious talk. That deafness is quite something when she did this for Colin a few episodes ago. Intentionally, she puts herself in opposition to Spike, criticising his inability to do his job and to also make an example out of him in front of everyone. Given that he's not long from being a foundation stone in Sound's new basement, this is a move which values task completion and voids compassion or empathy. An insensitive move. It's no wonder Spike can't talk with friends like these. In her defence, we should remember she's a teenager and that her brain is still developing, trying to figure emotion and rationality. And there's a huge opening for a YouTube video called Real Life Psychologist Analyzes Lynda Day. Sam and Lynda continue their conversation across the north-south divide. This is worth a phone plot ring. It's interesting how, throughout, the phone contrasts Sam and Spike phoning Lynda, verbal and non-verbal. Back in episode 1, Kenny and Spike were at loggerheads. I enjoy these moments where those who know Lynda get to side with one another. Spike asks for a street map, his clue, quiet in the mix, so as not to tip Colin off. Billy has been spending a lot of time with Colin lately, more likely teaching him to manage advertising and marketing spreadsheets than any newfound friendship. If Lynda is such a great leader, why did she let Colin near the back door? It's here we learn the secret lever that opens it, a trope of children's mystery lit, which I appreciate nevertheless. Synchronized stories as a quest for the food and a Lynda Spike double act really kicks off in the second gear.
So how much do I owe you?
Leave it just now. I'll invoice you later.
Press gang sex jokes. Happy birthday party for Robert. This scene is lovingly crafted composition of weird chaos. High-pitched, chiming nursery school music, children everywhere, atomic bomb cakes, one between 2 is enough, the fear there might be chocolate in those. The pinnacle of the mountain of madness is Janie Booth as Beth Davenport. Booth was born in 1941 and has been very active in theatre, radio, and from 1960 on the television. She's popped up in the Doctor Who spin-offs a few times. Also in Demon 79, the finale of Black Mirror Series 5, which I haven't seen yet, so you're not getting a clip of it. It's not known what became of Jeremy. Every time I watch the kid's birthday party, I love it more and more. It's sticky. It's messy. All the things kids love or that we adults associate with them. It's absurdism ratcheted past 11. You gotta just let it roll over you as Moffat sneaks out the story exposition. Lynda and Spike can only survive this. Booth is the queen.
It was because I kept mixing custard in with the potatoes.
So what do you think? We call it a drawer?
No, that's a drawer. Spike makes another attempt to talk. What he wants to say isn't necessarily what he will say. He'll declare his love and ask for the same, but at this moment neither we or Lynda know what he wants to say. Not really. And Spike's difficulties at this moment suggest he doesn't know his words either. Only that he needs to talk about the near-death experience, about who he is now, his relationship with Lynda. And seemingly he's about to. Lynda is receptive now, and Spike runs away. Karen O'Connor as waitress and Marie McErlean as Maria, last seen offering Kenny a straw in How to Make a Killing. The construction of these scenes don't suggest a willingness for a heart-to-heart. They suggest Lynda's claims about Spike escaping for the story, which we could attach to her competitive paranoia, are actually reasonable motivations. Cultural touchstone in Spike's drawing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This episode was broadcast 11 days before the Hero Turtles cartoon got its UK release. And Wheeler and Delilah. Yeah, that's a CM Enterprises subsidiary. The clues were all there. Oh, who's this?
I'm Envy Gillespie.
Okay, Robert McBain, you're looking extra terrifying. Another Brit actor since 1960 with the Grange Hill, The Bill, Casualty, EastEnders, Stretch, everything TV under his belt. The slasher movies he must have kept hidden.
My name's MV Gillespie. We're both MV Gillespie.
And this plays out remarkably. Lynda correcting Spike on his grammar.
Gillespie's.
Coming up with the most ridiculous justification when there's other obvious explanations in plain thought.
We just both happen to work for the same firm, in the same job, and have the same name.
Yes, it's quite a coincidence, really.
It is actually.
I thought so.
The comic timing between Sawalha, Fletcher and Bain is a marvel. Classic comedy.
And now I have two of you.
Well, I hope that makes up for the time you've been waiting.
This must have been an absolute treat to write and so much fun to rewatch. Just bear with me while I trigger the copyrighted content found notification. One more time.
Well, actually, I think there might be another MV Gillespie at our firm.
What?
Someone else called Envy Gillespie?
I think so.
Who?
Well, MV Gillespie.
And we get Lynda's competition with Spike in the midst of sabotaging their own investigation, and Jackie Bucknell's pitch-perfect exasperation as she brings in the big reveal.
There's another one outside.
What?
Another MV Gillespie.
Rod, I don't believe it. The food I supplied to you, out of date. Who can you trust nowadays? I mean, I was assured. Both these people have a record of severe mental illness. Please don't listen to a word they might have said.
I love this. Barely any clues, comes out of nowhere and totally fitting. Quite in character for Colin. Comic brilliance in saying little. It resolves a mystery and Lynda's competition. And we get tangible loathing in Julia Sawalha's voice and mannerisms. And the stuff I said about Lynda having an ear for Colin earlier ahead of Spike is fully in view here. And then the dizzying delights of humour fade into a brief bridging scene, filler in all but how it reconfigures the tone into something more ominous. Dexter Fletcher and the production team do really well with it.
But you've been your normal self, laughing, joking.
Drowning.
The denouement absolutely lands in terms of script and the top tier acting. Spike talking about Mary as a precursor to declaring full-on love for Lynda is understandable, but it gives the scene a funereal rather than celebratory quality. His feelings are fiercely contradictory, from calling Lynda out on something quite serious to immediately confessing big capital L love.
And that kind of brings me around to an obvious question.
An ultimatum. Lynda doesn't receive ultimatums well, and Spike, as damaged goods, can't be blamed. She tries, but neither have the emotional toolkit to talk about this, and so Spike takes himself back to a finality, gives himself an ultimatum to follow. It's a very Lynda trait, just not Lynda in this moment. It may be just the most teenage thing Moffat has written. The freeze frame credits stay on Lynda and not move around to different scenes from the episode. It's the second episode in a row where we've no duologue voiceover. I have a number of issues with yesterday's news which aren't easily solved. The final scene around post-trauma is phenomenal, but I feel we should have seen more of that while respecting Spike's multidimensional character. We should have spent less time on younger Spike tone, the ridiculous absurdist farce, the roll on the floor, pissing yourself comedy, all the great energy in the main of this episode. Yet I really admire the attempt with the somber trauma plot, and broadly how this is a thing that diffuses a series' will they, won't they, yes they do power couple. Instead of some argument about shoes or whatever they did with Ross and Rachel. Look at how well the last few episodes handled Lynda's character relationships with Colin and Sarah. I think Moffat just got too ambitious, but as failures go, it's a great half hour of telly to rewatch. Julie, got special feature, Julie. I need your design package. Press Gang was fortunate enough to have a number of key personnel contribute with consistency in front of and behind the camera. Earlier this year, we lost one of the family, editor Geoffrey J. Hogg. Born in 1944, he had a historian's love of cinema, much like his lifelong friend and partner, Tony Sloman. Tony edited a number of well-known films, but television was more Geoff's bag. His IMDb credits begin with an 11-minute film in 1976, Circassia, which might well be the definition of a curio. It was a benefit for the Central Remedial Clinic and Variety Club of Ireland and evokes a feeling of sitting inside a big top. It featured barely recognisable top-tier talent in clown get-ups, Sean Connery, Richard Harris, Burgess Meredith and Shirley MacLaine, hit in the face with a cream pie by a drunk Eric Clapton. There's something eldritch about much of it. Hogg edited it with Richard Bedford, part of a long-term partnership between the two. And it's emblematic too, because the director's career would continue in alternative fringe comedy that was impactful and striking. Case in point, The Secret Policeman's Other Ball in 1982. It was the fourth in a highly respected series of staged charity benefits for Amnesty International, including kind of a who's who of UK music and comedy all in one. Hogg worked with director John Cleese, cutting footage with the likes of Peter Cook, Rowan Atkinson, Eric Clapton again, Phil Collins, who at the time had been working with Press Gang director Lorne McGorry, who edited this very episode, and meeting for the first time Bob Geldof and Midure. Geldof referred to the show as an inspiration for his own charity endeavours. More work with musicians, editing Dream Anthology Return to Waterloo, written and directed by Kinks frontman Ray Davies, and White City, the music movie, based on the concept album by Pete Townshend of The Who, and rumoured to be a sequel to Quadrophenia. It was around here Geoff found himself coming into contact with the new wave of British comedy, primarily through the comic strip Presents, working closely with the series' main creative visionary, actor and director Peter Richardson and his writing partner Pete Richins. Geoff edited 11 episodes, says IMDb, for the series of one-off comedy troupe films on the brand new UK Channel 4. His first strip was Gino, the tale of a carjacker made celebrity, and featured many of the comic strip's regular names: Robbie Coltrane, Don French, Jennifer Saunders, Rick Mayall, Adrian Edmondson, and in the director's chair, Bob Spears. It was also the first of 3 strip episodes where he'd share editing credits with his young stepdaughter, Fiona Mackenzie, who joined Geoff, Bob and Richard Bedford looking over cuts in the dark room. He would work with most of the team in editing the group's first full-length feature film, The Supergrass. Geoff Hogg and Bob Spears hit it off immediately and both worked quite a bit on the comic strip presents. Oddly, they're only credited together on one more episode. It was Didn't You Kill My Brother, Hogg's 5th contribution, and as regulars know, something of a pre-press gang flashpoint, as it also featured Dexter Fletcher and Mmolki Chrystie. Director and editor worked on parts of the French and Saunders Christmas special together and reunited with Adrian Edmondson in their debuts on Press Gang. Hogg took on editing duties for 26 of the 43 episodes. That role included all of Series 5, where his assistant editor was a different stepdaughter, Andree Mackenzie, making her credited TV debut. The editor's role is particularly important in storytelling. Likely his work meant a great deal to the show's pacing, which was one of its major strengths. While Moffat rewrote his dialogue for Spears or McGorry's tracking shots across a newsroom, it was Geoff Hogg in the editing bay who had to make everything they filmed fit for broadcaster requirements. Spears will have set up the shots of concrete falling onto Spike's jacket, but it's Hogg who will have stacked that and other rolls of footage alongside various perspectives. We can look at the pacing in some of Press Gang's best comic scenes, and Geoff Hogg engineering that scripted and acted momentum and bettering it for the TV. The editing is a key element which makes it all work so well. Sending out for the near kiss and breakfast at Czars when the footage came in short, cutting down something terrible and conversing with Sandra Hasty about 90 seconds that she couldn't bear to part with, and campaigned successfully with ITV for their inclusion. That's the demands he was under. The Press Gang conventions in Liverpool in the 1990s included extended rough cuts of A Quarter to Midnight and There Are Crocodiles. According to Adrian Petford's programme guide, there were 2 versions of that final episode, one which ran to 33 or 34 minutes and may still be out there somewhere. Moffat and others have spoke glowingly of Hogg's ability to condense the essential character of episodes and characters into the allowed duration. While Press Gang was on the air, he and Spears took time to work on the short-lived police drama spoof Lazarus and Dingwall. A few more episodes of Comic Strip Presents, 2 episodes of Care Home children's drama The Lodge, produced by Sandra Hasty, Press Gang script supervisor Annie Simpson, and featuring Louisa Millwood Hay, but not the episode that was directed by Lorne McGorry. He edited The Bizarre UFO, a 1993 feature vehicle for Roy Chubby Brown. Shot at Pinewood, it involved sexist jokes, trial by aliens, and recurring male pregnancy, critically panned and banned in Ireland. Well, there are an odd lot there. There was an episode of The Beloved Vicar of Dibley, though it was Don French's other series, Murder Most Horrid, where Hogg would be a mainstay, racking up 21 out of 24 entries in the anthology. This included 8 episodes with Bob Spears at the helm and 3 written by Steven Moffat. The Series 2 debut, Overkill, featured Hogg, Spears and Moffat in a tale of suicide and assassination. In 1996 came the pilot episode for The Office. No, not that one. No, not that one. This reunited a number of Press Gang alumni: Steven Moffat, Sandra C. Hasty, Bill Ward, Annie Simpson, casting director Liz England, director of photography / cinematographer James Davis, and assistant editor Andree Mackenzie. Do write in and slap my wrists if I've forgotten anyone. He'd edit Moffat's lost comedy pilot, Privates, directed by Spears with composer Peter Davis and featuring Paul Reynolds. Thanks to Fiona Mackenzie, we know Geoff worked on In Two Minds, a BBC children's talking dog jaunt, which was produced by Sandra C. Hasty. He wrote and directed episodes of that. Can you believe I'm actually skipping a lot of stuff? 3 episodes of Caroline Ahern's Mrs. Merton, 5 episodes of The Strangers, Sky One's first original comedy, A Tale of Two Stranded Aliens written by Rob Grant of Red Dwarf. Ooh, Paul Darrow was in it. 12 episodes of Harry Enfield's brand spanking new show. Most of the BBC sitcom, Horrible, one series fronted by Johnny Vaughan, featuring a criminal cabbie. But the standout in this period where we must pause is Stella Street. Stella Street is a British television comedy programme originally screened in 4 series between December 1997 and 2001. Peter Richardson, who had driven Comic Strip Presents, writes, with John Sessions and Phil Cornwell, 2 impressionists who play a bunch of Hollywood celebrities, and Jimmy Hill, living on the same street in suburban England. Multi-episode plots give it the feel of a very weird soap opera. It's a show I feel holds up even better today than when it aired. Maybe that's my own maturity. It enjoys a certain cult status. It's not always funny, but it's often clever, admirable, and the blend of soap and surreal played straight makes for a great fusion. Episodes were 10 to 15 minutes long, so Geoff had to be and was on top form as an editor and worked again alongside stepdaughter Andrea. Nigel Planer sums it up well in his obituary. Geoff convincingly turned that 2-man cast into an entire community. He was rightfully very proud of a fight scene in Stella Street, the movie, where John Sessions goes to punch a different John Sessions, and yet another John Sessions gets in the way. I've put a link to Nigel Planer and Fiona Mackenzie's article about Geoff in the description, and thanks to Fiona for fact-checking this article and her encouraging words. If you'd like to make a donation to Dogs in Need in honour of Geoff, you can do so at jeffreyhogg.muchloved.com. I'd like to thank you all for joining me today, and thanks to my patrons whose names are now on screen. Please drop me a comment in the comments. Let's keep the newspaper format, yeah? Letters to the editor, people. And why not buy some books as well? Occupied, which has that mad press gang energy, and the manly off kilter Coastlines After Dark. Next episode, rock solid, with a special feature on Lee Ross. Let's get Kenny.